Okay, everybody, this is going to be the last video of the term, and it's going to be a final exam review, um, and just going to talk briefly about some of the big topics that we went over this term, and a little bit about the exam, but not too much. I will give you guys, I did change my mind, and I'm going to give you guys until Thursday at midnight to go ahead and complete the final exam instead of Wednesday, but they are due on Thursday at midnight. Something to keep in mind when you're doing the final is there's several types of questions. Some multiple choice, some fill in the blank, and there's some I call paragraph style. In that I know a lot of you have sometimes put a decimal where it should be a fraction, or a fraction where it should be a decimal, and it's kind of confusing sometimes. So what I've done in those instances, I've allowed you space to go ahead and put your answer in. That way you can put either form, and I'll have a chance to look at the actual value, and the computer won't grade you on a yes or no right away. I'll actually be able to go look and see if you had the right answer. So let's go ahead and begin with the review. This is all stuff beginning of the term, order of operations. Make sure and practice these. A good tip is do the entire review. The ones you got right, make sure you do understand them and you didn't just guess and got them right. Make sure you really understand them. The ones you get wrong, make sure you circle them, do them again, and if you can get them right, then that's really good. If you still get them wrong, that means you don't understand the material. So it's time for you to go back and get some help, either with a tutor or with me online, or email me, or with your fellow classmates, which I highly recommend you guys do for a final exam, is group studying. It really helps out. So now we're going order of operations. We know for order of operations we're going to always want to do the grouped parts first and then carry it through. Fractions, we know we're going to need a common denominator when we're adding, subtracting. A multiplication, we just multiply across top and bottom. Whenever we divide, we know we like to simplify to the lowest term. Mixed number, change those to the improper fractions, and then perform the operation. Exponents, we know that the exponents is the first thing we'd like to, actually the second thing we'd like to do in order of operations. The first thing is take care of anything inside parentheses, then exponents, then left to right addition and, or I'm sorry, multiplication and division, and then left to right addition and subtraction. Solving for an unknown variable, we isolate the variable on one side and get the value on the other. You'll have several of these on the final. These are all the same type of problems. When we have variables on two sides of the equation, choose which side you want to bring your variable to, and go ahead and get all the constant terms on the other side and simplify, and you should get a numeric answer. Here's some general equations. Length times width times height is equal to the volume of a cube. When they give us an equation like this, P is equal to A plus B plus C, and they want us to solve for C, what we have to do is get all of the everything that's not part of the thing they're asking us to solve for. We have to get that on the other side of the equation. So for example, on this one, if they're asking us to solve for C, we have to get C all by itself and get all this other stuff on the other side. Solve for the formula of the given variable. For T, the same thing. We get all the T's on one. We get T only on one side, and we get everything else on the other side. Tables and plotting points. What we like to do is we know we have an equation to get ordered pairs. We know they give us the x to find the y. We just got to plug the value they give us for x in here and solve for the value of y. Then that'll give us a coordinate. We can come in here, draw our coordinate system, and plot that on here, and we'll get a point, and that is an ordered pair or a solution to our problem. Another one of those, identifying the intercepts of the graph. An intercept is just where it crosses. So for this particular one, the x-intercept is going to be where it crosses the x-axis. The y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. And you just put those values in here. Now when they're asking us to graph using the y and x-intercept method, you got to solve numerically for your x-intercept, solve numerically for your y-intercept, plot those points out, then draw a line between those 2 points, and that'll be your solution. Okay. whenever they give us a choice of what to use, I always like to go ahead and use point slope form. That means to get everything in terms of y equals, and then everything else, and then use your y-intercept to find your y-intercept, and then use your slope to find a second point, and then draw a line between those. That's what I find to be the best. The slope between 2 points, we know is just definition, the rise over the run, or the change in height over the change in x. So we can go ahead and figure that out. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Whenever they give us an equation like this, they want us to find the slope. We just got to get y equals all by itself on one side, and the slope is going to be the coefficient in front of the x when we have the y on one side. So this guy, we would obviously take the 5x over to this side. We'd have y is equal to 5 minus 5x. It's going to be minus 5x is going to be the slope of this guy. Plus 5 is going to be the y-intercept. Find the slope of this guy, do the same thing, just get y all by itself, and the coefficient in front of the x is going to be your slope. Word problems, looks like a lot of us had trouble with word problems this past couple of sections. Make sure and do these problems and really take some time to understand them. There's no real trick I can give you for doing word problems, but make an equation and draw things out and put things in your own words. That's the only way you can really get these. You got to put things in your own words, and you got to draw them out. Just trying to come up with the equation off the top of your head is not going to work. Okay. Checking to see if something is a solution. Plug the value into the variables as it shows, and then see if the two sides of the equal sign match each other. If they do, it's a solution. If they don't, then it doesn't make sense and it's not a solution. More word problems, and that's about it. And here's just a whole list of definitions that hopefully we know by now. So it might be a good idea to look all these up and maybe type them out for your own knowledge, and just to make sure you understand them. Again, I really think you should do the entire review, circle the ones you don't get right, redo them. If you still don't get them right, then it's time to seek help on those types of problems. The ones that you get correct, I think you're probably pretty good, so I wouldn't spend any time working on those. Good luck. This is going to be an interesting week for you guys, so make sure and don't wait till the last minute, on Thursday at midnight to try to take that exam. But it's been great, and I hope you guys have a great final exam and a great summer.